Hello, everybody. We are live. Welcome. This is the Best News Ever podcast. This is episode 7. I love Saturday mornings because we get to do this. Hi, Sis Camille.
Hello, Sam. Welcome back. Hello,
Thank
how are
you.
you? We
Thank
missed you.
you. I miss being here. I mean, it's always nice to go and see family and the motherland and all that, but my life is here. And so it's also very nice to be back. And of course, doing this. What is this new backdrop that you have? Can you explain?
Yes, on your left.
Ay,
on
tour
your
talaga.
let me tour you. So on your left, this is actually a kanji. It was a gift from a partner, a business partner. Okay,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
we're done with love topic last week.
Ah!
This is the kanji for God. It means in Japanese it means kami-sama.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, it's God. So whenever I work or whenever I do something, because it's actually the flip side of the room, I have it in front of me. So
Mm-hmm.
it reminds me that God is watching me. And then this was what
Oh,
I shared last time about my favorite quote about love. So every time I would go out, I would be reminded of that. And then
I love that.
on your right, it was a gift from my nieces. You know the typhoon. I forgot the typhoon, but it's a typhoon painting.
Okay. Is that supposed to be a good thing? Like, here, tita, here's a drawing of a typhoon.
Yeah, because there's black, right? And then around it is light. It's yellow. So
Oh,
even there's in darkness, there's light. Oh,
yun pala yun.
yes.
Okay.
How about
Beautiful.
you? What's because we're talking about highlights every week, right? This
That
Sam.
is how we like to start. That's correct. Aside from the fact that I am back home now in the Philippines, I also would really like to thank. So I live in a barangay called San Antonio in Pasig, right? And the barangay captain Raymond Leasing, is so supportive. We in fact have an activity going on right now with the youth in the
Ooh.
barangay. It's called Pray and Play. I love that he even has an initiative like this. He really likes to engage the community so that we can do things that are for the betterment of everyone. And so he's been so supportive with us, Zion Christian Mission Center, and I just wanted to personally thank him. And that's been a huge highlight of my week. What about you? What's your highlight?
Speaking of Barangay San Antonio, right?
Yes.
And right now, are they in the basketball court? We were there last month, si Sam.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you for the all the staff there who's really very supportive and doing all this initiative. My highlight this week, I got sick. So I think there's a lot of people who are experiencing, they're just under the weather. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
happy, praise God, that we're back here. I had maybe 3 packs of lozenges and 2 cough syrup para
Like
gumaling yung
just
yes.
chugging the stuff.
Yes, but overall, it's a good week.
I'm so happy that you're recovered. I know that you're not 100%, but you are feeling well enough to be on the podcast. Speaking of sick, the reason why Tina is not here is
Ah,
because
yes.
she's the one, yes, who's not feeling too hot today. But of course, we're all praying that she'll get better soon. And I am almost certain that she'll be with us next week.
We miss
Okay.
you,
I
Sistina.
know. We miss you, Sis Tina. We'll see you soon. Okay, so let's get to the episode today. The title is Book of Revelation, What's the Big Deal? And the reason why we phrased the question for today's topic is because last Wednesday, there was an online Bible seminar that was given by Chairman Lee Man-hee. And it's about the fulfilled realities of the Book of Revelation, right?
Mm.
And I think just even that statement, like if you haven't really looked into the Bible or studied here at Zion Christian Mission Center, it could be kind of like, okay, what does that even mean?
Mm.
Right? But just to put it out there very simply, it means that the book of Revelation in the Bible is a book of prophecy, which means that it will fulfill at some point. And what we're saying is that that time of fulfillment is now,
Mhm.
and we know this because there is someone who has seen and heard the fulfillment, which is why there is now someone testifying about it. And the invitation is to just please come and listen, because, of course, everyone will have to verify it for themselves, right?
Amen.
Um, I guess we can talk about just what we thought of the Book of Revelation prior to coming to Zion Christian Mission Center. And we've talked about this naman na before.
Yes.
But yes.
Yes, for me, if I may share, when I was even heard about Revelation, it's a book I want to always escape or just skip. Like magandang basahin yung Psalm, it's good to soak on Psalm or the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. But when you talk about Revelation, it's like, oh, we don't actually need to study that because there's a lot of movies I've watched before. The first invite I had prior to going to my previous church, we were watching Rapture. So, and then we would share, oh, what do you think about the book of Revelation? I was like, okay, I think I have to do something at home. I have to go now because it's so scary, di ba? Parang
Yeah.
it's a war movie because it actually
Yeah.
talks about war, right? The book of Revelation.
Sure.
But
Uh-huh.
the ending, now that we know, it's super hopeful. It's sobrang um it's so promising and you'll really understand not just the book of Revelation itself, but the entirety of the Bible. I think
Mm.
that's what makes Revelation very special. How about
Yeah.
you? Did you ever
You know,
have interest?
I admire people like you who actually even bothered to look into it. And the Bible was a part of your faith life because I think for me, I had no interest. I mean,
Mm.
I had heard some things here and there, but it was never something that I thought was important to my faith life. It was just not a factor. Um, and so, yeah, I think maybe I'm like a lot of people who are maybe in the faith, but thinking that knowledge of the book of Revelation or understanding it is not really necessary. But here's the interesting thing. You actually went out to the streets recently because you
Mm.
wanted to ask like random people what they thought of the book of Revelation is, right?
Yes, I became a sort of Samarites, di ba?
I love it.
Samarites. So I went out. I was just curious. I printed out this
Oh my gosh, look at you.
label,
Yeah.
Revelation, and then I wanted to just ask people outside how they think what Revelation is about. And then, and I, with the permission of all these wonderful ladies who were busy, they were selling outside, and excuse me, ano pong palagay nyo about Revelation? And they were like, what's Revelation? And then when you began to explain and share about it, and then you ask that you give them some background that, oh, actually
Mm,
it's the last book of the Bible. And then you ask them actually what the first book of the Bible is. And then they would like, what's the first book of the Bible? So maybe just like you, sis Sam, no judgment because
yeah.
we all didn't know, right? We all didn't know it. It's just that we were in our different stages of lives. These students, they were actually from Christian school and
Okay.
they were studying the Bible. So I asked them, "Do you
Oh,
know what?"
nice.
Yes, they were studying the Bible, but maybe they skipped. They were like me. They skipped the Revelation part. So yeah,
What did they say? I mean, when you ask them, like, what do they say?
they just didn't know, and there was silence in heaven. Yeah. I was like, okay, so what's Revelation? I think it's Christian. I think it's
Mm,
Christian. And that was it. So we gave them a little bit of explanation because again, it's more than just knowing what the book is, but knowing who wrote this, which is of course our Father God. So I
right.
think that's what really makes the book of Revelation special.
I love that you even went out to do that because like because I've done it too before. Just because like I think that's one way that we try to engage more people. We exhaust all avenues, and yes, one of the ways that we try is to just like engage people in the streets. Um,
Mm.
we sometimes like give out flyers for the study that we do at the Zion Christian Mission Center, and it's not easy to just go up
Mhm.
to people that you don't know. I think it's so brave. And I love that these people responded warmly to you, like they were friendly.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah. And again, like it's so important what you said, Sis Camille, in that, yes, many people's response, I suppose, to the book of Revelation is that, okay, I don't know what this book is about, or that it's even part of the Bible. And it's okay. Like there's no harm in not what's what am I trying to say? Parang we can't really blame people for not understanding it yet.
Mhm.
Because unless the actual understanding comes, then how are we supposed to know, right? And I think it's really humble that you're able to say that. Na parang, hey, you know what? Come to think of it, like, I don't think I know about this book.
We didn't. We didn't. And when you were saying, Sis Sam, about us going outside and just sharing what we knew,
Yeah.
I remember lang the time of the first coming. Parang I think we did talk about this offline before. People back then, the 12 disciples, Jesus, they were going out, right? Just to
Mm,
share the message or the reality, the fulfilling reality at that time, who was in Jesus. But were there a lot of people who really understood and know? Parang hindi rin eh, di ba? Pero
yeah.
sobrang, we're in the time right now that, okay, hindi na natin kailangan, we don't have to go from mountains to mountains. Okay, Grab, punta ako sa ganito. Things are very convenient right now, but still, the Bible doesn't change. The goal and the purpose of God is really to testify the good news and the love that He has for
Mm-hmm.
this world. So, yun yung nakuha natin. That's why we're doing this. The best news.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. No, and yeah, you're right. I think we should maybe elaborate on that because when we say there is now realities of the fulfillment of this book that are being testified, but if you're thinking that whatever is written in the book of Revelation is literally now supposed to manifest physically, then how is that a good thing? This is why we offer the study that we do at Zion Christian Mission Center, because the book of Revelation, because again, it is prophecy, it is written figuratively. So we need to kind of break down the language that it is written in. So again, God's promises fulfilling is a good thing. He's a good God. We're not talking about these wars or beasts coming out of the sea or the earth or the sun, moon, and stars falling and darkening. That's not what we're talking about. Like literal events happening this way. That's not what we mean. We invite you to come and study. Just, because we break that down for you. That's the first step of the study.
Exactly. It reminds me, si Sam, for example, no, parang we're watching a physics lecture rather. And then yung parang nag-uusap sila ng mga parang highfalutin words. And then like it's very important knowing physics, but that's one thing, but another thing is to really break it down. Okay, learn ABC, this formula first, like mathematics. And then you're going to be able to see the entire picture, which makes it more beautiful. Kasi pag tiningnan mo siya na, oh, ito yung puzzle. Like the painting in here, you won't be able to understand, di ba? Unless somebody really explained to you, oh, this is what's happening. This is the A, this is the dot, and you could just connect it and then it will make more sense. So,
this is something that the chairman actually mentioned during the seminar.
yes.
That it is like a mathematical equation. You have to learn the prophecy first, meaning you have to understand the language that the prophecy is written in. And then you hear the fulfillment of those prophecies. Then you have understanding. And I mean, math is not even my strongest subject. It's probably my weakest. Oh my gosh.
Same. Ating classes.
It was the worst. Oh my gosh. Yeah, my least favorite.
I know.
But you're right. Like math is amazing because there is a systematic, logical way of understanding things and how we arrived at that answer. And it's the same with the Bible. At least the way we teach it at Zion Christian Mission Center. We just want everyone to come and please check this out. Let's show them the options of the classes that we have. Although in the comment section, you can already see also like, how you can be part of these classes and how you can enroll and stuff like that. We have a lot of options. You can pick one that fits you best. If you're a pastor, if you're a non-pastor, meaning you're just, a regular congregation member like myself, we have Uplifting Minds, which is for kids who are 13 to 17, I believe. International theology courses, if you maybe prefer an English class, or maybe you're not, in the Philippines, you're somewhere overseas. Self-paced study is when you cannot commit to these regular class schedules, but you would like to learn and you can commit and you have the discipline to, keep up the study by yourself. We have a portal that you can access as well. Okay.
And all of them are free, no?
Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely free.
Yes.
Absolutely free. And yes, you can do it online, although we highly encourage that you go to the centers because there are physical centers that you can go to and learn with an instructor, with other people. It's a great environment to learn the Bible. But yeah, there are so many options. And at this point, what is our excuse? There is none.
And it's available from Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Mhm.
So, yes, get your pick and everything's free because the word is given for free.
Absolutely free. Okay, let's talk about the seminar itself. So this one that we're talking about, which I think is the one that kicked off the series, yes, there will be more coming up. In fact, we have the poster up for the one that's happening tomorrow. Yes, it'll be live streamed from a city called Busan in South Korea.
Mhm.
This past one was done in a city called Masan. What were your thoughts on the seminar, Sis Camille?
Wait, I'm just curious before I answer your
Mm,
question. Is it a
yes.
different, is it located in different?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Busan and Masan are different places.
And the chairman is actually traveling to different places to testify the fulfillment at
At
his age.
mm-hmm.
In the
I
middle of,
know.
right? Parang,
Yeah.
I was sick last week and then I can't even get up. I can't speak. And then the chairman at his age, I heard it. I'm sure you also listened to the seminar. He was talking for an hour and a half. And I don't even say,
It was a long
I know.
time.
And
Yeah.
I was just writing down notes. How can he even say this? I mean, how can he even testify this so clearly and then not even looking at anything? It's because he's chairman. Sorry, I got lost with your question. He's
No,
on
no,
top of
no.
my head.
No, it's okay. Let's talk about it a little bit because you're right. He is over 90 years old. And when you watch the seminars, in the beginning, he's kind of like warming up to, that energy level. And then when he gets to the peak, it's just like, oh my goodness, where is all this strength coming from? And you're right. He's not reading anything. He's not, it's just all just stuff because it's inherently in him, I think. It's so
Mm,
easy for him to just keep lecturing for an hour and a half.
yes. And if
It's
you're
it's really something.
Yes, yes, Sam. And if you're going to really hear his story, how everything from the time that he started this life of faith that he has right now, and he's testifying for the last 41 years, it's
Mm,
like, oh, wow, wow. And for everyone, please just don't take our word for it. Please study.
no,
Please
yeah.
study. Yeah.
I I think about that sometimes. I mean, when we watch these seminars now, like in the last one, there were 16,000 people who gathered to hear. And there were pastors in the mix of people. I believe there were some media as well who were there. And so, yes, these seminars are now drawing huge crowds. But then you have to remember, there was a time when there were maybe like a handful of people who were gathering,
Mm.
right? Because he's
Oh,
been at it for over 40 years and it has grown to this scale. But yeah, think about that. Like that time when he was just trying to gather, like whoever, will want to listen. And he just kept at it. And here we are
yeah.
today. Yeah. Like, wow.
It gives me also that impression or that image because Jesus started in that mountain and then they started with that small handful of people, right? And then
Mm,
right now, where's Christianity? Because the disciples they really preach to all the ends of the earth. And also with Sherman, when he was sharing his story, they started very small in that mountain, and then suddenly, just like right now, like what you said, 16,000 and growing. Even the graduation for the 3 consecutive years, 100,000, no, si Sam? Minimum,
yes.
minimum.
Yes.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes.
I
So,
want to say hi to Miss Odette, who's listening to us right now. She says, hello, I'm interested in the schooling. I will inquire through your page. Fantastic.
oh.
We are so excited to see you and have you at Zion Christian Mission Center. Okay. We do talk about the chairman because I mean, it's remarkable at his age that he's doing this, but I want there to be no mistake. We're not listening to the testimony because we're looking at a person. It doesn't really matter who the person is. It just happens to be this person, Chairman Lee, 90 something. But we're here because of the understanding that is being given through this person. Let's look at some of the comments that we saw from the people who actually watched the seminar that happened last Wednesday, starting with this one. I thought this was great. And you can tell me your thoughts on this, Sis Cammille. Someone named Anne says, it is truly a transformative experience. As a 30-year-old, I've always been curious about the deeper meanings within the Bible, but I never quite knew where to start. The seminar provided the perfect opportunity to dive in and explore. Mr. Manhili is incredibly knowledgeable and passionate, which make the sessions engaging and insightful. One part that stood out to me was about the parables. I had read them many times before, but the way they were explained at the seminar opened my eyes to new interpretations and understandings. Growing up, my family wasn't very religious, so my exposure to the Bible was limited. However, as I got older, I felt a growing desire to understand more about my faith and the teachings of the Bible. Overall, the Shincheonji Bible Seminar was an enriching experience that deepened my understanding of the Bible and strengthened my faith. If you're curious about the scriptures or looking to grow in your spiritual journey, I highly recommend attending. It's an opportunity to learn, connect, and be inspired.
Oh, wow. Amen.
Your thoughts?
What stood out to me the most is how chairman would really clearly explain everything. And the background that I heard is he didn't have any experience going to theology school, Bible school. He just know and he could testify. And it's really important that we are able to understand because he would always say, like what you have mentioned earlier, go back to the Bible. Because we
Right.
could look at people's appearance, oh, maybe not. Because even in the time of Jesus coming, right? Like people may have different expectation what the king would actually look like when he comes. Kailangan
Mm-hmm.
ganito. And then he was just riding in the donkey. And then people were like, oh, this and that. But then we go back to the Bible. Once you understand everything, that everything would really clearly make sense. That's why ganun na lang tayo kakwat. Mag-aral kayo! Let's study! Let's study! Right?
Yeah, I mean, and it's not something that happens overnight, obviously. You know, when you enroll in these courses, this is about 6 to 8 months. Three times a week is the schedule of the class. And we can take it step by step. You know, and I think it is important that you kind of take it, you know, a day at a time, you know, take in what you're hearing and then process that and then just take on the journey and, you know, and see what happens. No one is forcing anything on anyone. In fact, I think our job here on the Best News Ever podcast, Sis Cammille, is to just let people know that this thing exists. And if you are, you know, like Anne, who are curious about the Bible, you want to enrich your faith because you think knowledge of the Bible is important, you know, personally, Sis Cammille and I, we can say there is nothing better. But that's
Yeah.
us, right?
And we want you to experience it because see, Sam, what you kind of mentioned earlier was about, yes, learning all these things, getting from math equations and whatnot, which our chairman kind of mentioned before. But that's in the world, right? We spend so much, we also mentioned this in the past episodes, but we spend too much time studying things in the world. We go to master's, PhD, and all that. But what chairman did highlight on, what he really harped on was this is life. Like this was God has been wanting to give to the people. And
Right.
it's not just the knowledge because like for me, sobrang nagbago talaga yung buhay ko. Direct, pwede pong pa-background music po ng konti. Yeah,
Tissue,
you know,
please.
tissue please. Parang, I don't know si Sam. So ako sobrang fickle-minded. I was reflecting last night. Parang how did really the word change me? Sobrang fickle-minded ako sa buhay. I've done a lot of different mistakes in the past, making wrong decisions. Until now, I still do. Pero there's something that's so sure about the Bible. When you understand that God, He says something, He will absolutely fulfill. And that's what makes you, parang, meron akong isang sigurado sa buhay.
It's the thing that you can hold on to.
Yes,
Like
yes,
everything
yes.
can crumble and fall apart.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, no, I think anyone who has studied and now truly understand, like, okay, what is it that is being shared as the Christian Mission Center, and what does that mean for my faith? Like, where are we now in God's plan? Because I think most believers naman understand that, the salvation plan of God, it's in the Bible.
It is, it is.
Diba? Like all believers say this, like what is God's will? What is God's plan? And like, how do we know that unless we look at his word, right?
Mm.
And yeah, I think, oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought because I got a message on the, in any case, yes. There
May
is
nag-text.
definitely, may
May
nag-text,
nag-text.
kaya na-distract ako. But point being, there's definitely like a transformative experience
Mm.
as well as we start to now understand the word and what is exactly happening today. Because
Yes.
that is what we're saying. The fulfillment that is promised, it is happening today. Okay. Shall we move on to another comment that we got?
Yes, let's go.
Jasmine says, I'm completely amazed by the clarity and depth of the teaching. It's a powerful reminder of how God's word is being fulfilled in our time. Okay, so yes, as we said, it's being fulfilled today. So hopefully, like when our friends hear that, the questions that come up will be things like, okay, what is fulfilling? And what does that mean for me? Like for my faith life? Like, do I have to know this stuff? Like, why is this important?
Right, right.
Yung mga ganyan.
Yes, and it's so deep, even what has been shared by our sister Jasmine. I was talking to a student who's learning right now, and then what I asked her was, so okay, so how's the Bible study journey for you? And she said, palalim na ng palalim. Because it's so deep eh, 'di ba? Parang we're scratching the surface when we just learn about moral teachings, history. Those are important, but just what we're trying really to emphasize here is the fulfillment. Parang ano ba yung mga nangyayari ngayon? Kasi it will not
Right.
make sense na parang, okay, puro head knowledge, I have this wisdom, I know this verse. Pero if you don't see ourselves in the Bible that, hey, we're actually part of all this. Parang andito ako eh. Andito ako. So I think that's what is something that we really need to fill in the gaps with, yung hindi natin pa naiintindihan, which is the
Right.
fulfillment part. Yeah.
Right. And it's funny because yes, as you go further into the study, the depth, right? You do go deeper and deeper, but don't you also find that the deeper you get, the simpler things become?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, parang the clearer things become, the simpler it becomes. And for some reason, that's what happens as you go deeper into it.
And logical. Sobrang it makes sense na parang, oo nga, may sagot eh. There's really answers to every question. It's found in the Old Testament, in the New Testament, and it's just really making sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, our next comment from Alicia. Praise God. Anyone who checks this testimony with the scriptures will realize the truth. I like this one because, again, we're not telling people to, okay, listen to this and then take it or leave it. Okay? What we're saying is, please listen to this. Take a Bible. And don't we all have one lying around, which we never open?
More than one.
Diba? Parang it's like mandatory to have one in the house, but it's more like decoration at this point. So I'm sure you have a Bible somewhere. So hear this, open the Bible, and see if it actually aligns with all the stuff that's in there.
Right.
Because, yes, because if this testimony is true, if the understanding that is being shared is true, then everything should fall into place like puzzle pieces. And as we said, it should make logical sense. Everything should become clearer, and we should now understand the time that we are living in and what is actually happening according to the prophecies in the Bible.
And
Your thoughts on this one?
Yes. I wanted also to go back to what you mentioned earlier, si Sam, about salvation, because that's very important. And I believe all Christians would really focus on the salvation thing. And that's right. Like God, he wants everyone to be saved. But I also wanted to mention what Chairman did mention about Luke chapter 13, to make every effort. Because we have to make effort, and this is us studying na parang, alam mo yung pag nagde-date ka, pag nasa relationship ka, o pabalik na naman sa relationship. Mababalik talaga. Because the Bible has a lot of love on it, di ba? And that's something that we have to really understand, God's love. Na parang, sa relasyon nga, we're making effort, right? Family relationships, romantic relationship, di naman pwedeng one way lang. Na parang God is the one just reaching out to us for the last 6,000 years. Tapos, sige God, okay lang, save na ako. Pero hindi eh. In the Bible, it says there, make every effort to what? To enter the narrow door. So, hindi siya madali eh. Life of faith, yes, it's joyful, pero in a relationship also to build that trust relationship, parang paano ka magkakaroon ng faith if you're not putting on effort to know who's the God that we really want to know. So, yun yung isa sa mga parang, oh yeah, life of faith really takes effort.
I 100% agree. We do more for things that are temporary in this world. We're talking about something that is eternal.
Amen.
And what is 6 to 8 months of going to a class, which will give you knowledge, by the way. We're not, and here, this is the thing, Sis Cammille, right? Like we think we do things for God, and I'm sure it pleases God, right? But God is God. He has everything. He doesn't need anything. Everything that he asks us to do ultimately is still for us. And
Right.
that is just the unfathomable love of God. Again, we invite all of you to please watch, listen, and verify for yourself. Because there are more seminars happening. There's one happening this Sunday, which will be streaming from Busan, South Korea. The Wednesday after that will be live streaming from Seoul, South Korea. And to answer the question of, Book of Revelation, what's the big deal? It is the book for our time, for the believers of our time, to know what time we're living in, what is fulfilling, and now as believers, what are we supposed to do?
Yes, and this is what it's about, right? I don't know if I'm pointing at that. That one. That, of course, that's God. Pero yan, this will be happening actually tomorrow.
Yes, that's
Sunday.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
So
At
tomorrow, 11
11 a.m.
a.m.
Yeah,
Yes. And
tomorrow at 11 a.m.
I believe many study areas will be opened as well. So we could gather in different areas all around the Philippines. You could study there, you could inquire more. If you have questions, ano pa talaga yung revelation? How am I going to study? This is my situation, etc., etc. And just find friends.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We are, wide open to anyone who is interested. Would you like to also talk about an activity that is happening? Is that tonight?
Later at 6 p.m.
Yes,
So
at the
for
Manila
those
Center.
Manila Center, for those who love 90s music, pwedeng
Oh,
mag-sample si Sam.
oh,
Ikaw
90s
na lang.
music. Ano ba?
90s. Yeah, so there's going
Parang-
to be music kantahan. This was supposed to be 2 weeks ago, but finally it's happening. So bring your friends. It's all free. There's some food as well. There's going to just be singing 90s music. Kung hindi kasi ako 90s 2000 baby ako. Si
Mhm.
Truth tayo, truth.
I'm so 90s. So-
I'm just kidding. Okay. So yes, so 90s music, and then yeah, you could just bring in a friend. It's in Rugen Building in Shaw Boulevard. So please come. Come.
Yes, we'd love to see you there. We want to say hi to everyone who is watching us on the Facebook page of Zion Christian Mission Center. We see all of you. Thank you so much for being here. We'd love to hear from you too. We have an email address, bestnewseverpodcast@gmail.com. If you guys have topic suggestions, if you would like to send us, maybe a letter, maybe share your story with us. I don't know, anything. We're so kilig when we see mail in our inbox. To people watching us from the Philippines and even in different countries right now, we'll see you tomorrow at the seminar. It's online. And again, we invite all of you to come join and watch and be blessed by this revealed word that is coming out of Zion Christian Mission Center. Okay. And so with that, are we ready for our parting words? Do you have anything that you'd like to leave with, Sis Cammille?
Yes, just inviting everyone really to study. It's really life changing. This is the best ever. Best ever. Aside from this is the best news ever. This is really for me personally. This is the best thing that happened in my life. The word. I'm really thankful to the person who invited me because God, He used different instruments, right? Like, sino bang mag-aakala that we're going to be learning this on different channels and different time of our lives, and this is a very important era that we should
Yes.
really be understanding what's happening right now. God, He's been so good. And we're going to really be able to see it as we study more of His Word. Yung parang nagsulat siya ng love letter. Tapos nandyan lang siya, hindi natin siya binubuksan. And then suddenly, when you open it, and then someone explains to you, oh, this is what actually your father wants, and He's going to make it happen, and it's happening right now. Kaya it's very, very, very important that we please learn. It's not just about what we got, but someone that we want to share is the one who really gave this to us, which is God. So please study. It's all for free. It's accessible to anyone. Mag-download lang tayo ng Zoom, or if you want, you can also go to different centers so that you could also meet people. I think what I also am very grateful and appreciative about this is yun nga, yung mga instructors really give their lives, kasi nakita nila yung importance of the word of the Bible, and they're all out to it. Like, they're all in. This is it.
Yeah.
Parang, what else can I do? All the things in this world, like what you said earlier, we're spending time doing all these things. Pero how many hours lang yung isi-spend natin dito sa Zion Christian Mission Center? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours. And
Pops. Yes.
right? And then it's almost December na, di ba? So time would just fly after that. Hindi natin malalaman it's already graduation. And they will be graduating then, di ba? We
Yes, there
have
is a graduation.
certificates, yes,
Uh-huh.
once we complete and all that. So
That's right.
those are my parting words. Parting words.
Parting words for today. We're back again next Saturday. I have nothing to add to what Sis Cammille said. She has said everything and so eloquently. Again, we want to thank you for joining us. Sis Cammille, it's great to see you. Tina, we'll see you next week. I hope you feel better. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Everyone.
Bye.
See you in our classes.
See you at the seminar.
See you at the seminar.
Bye.